Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks for sticking around for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Chris Mueller in a matter of moments from the 93.7 The Fan Cam. But first, we're taking your phone calls, 412-575-2600 tonight. The Pirates split in New York against the Yankees. But I guess the bright side of this is, as I mentioned in the sportscast, you had 11 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball by your starters. The Pirates needed this Mitch Keller to break out of this slump. I mean, he's been bad for the whole, for the last 2 months, basically. But, had a little time off, worked on some things, and he pitched 5 scoreless innings today. He didn't get the win. Mason Montgomery got the win, but the Pirates got the win, and that's the most important thing. And maybe Keller got back on track. The Pirates won that first game 5-3. But the second game, I wouldn't call it a disaster, but the Pirates' bats, they couldn't get anything going. No offense behind Bubba Chandler, who pitched 6 1/3 scoreless. But, maybe the one thing that you might question is Donnie Kelly's move to take Chandler out after 1 out in the 7th inning and bringing in Brandon Eisert. And you saw what happened, a walk. I think he had a strikeout or something in there, a ground out, but then it was a double single. And then all of a sudden it was a 2-0 deficit by the Pirates. And then it was trouble for the Pirates. And, the 9th inning could have had something going. I thought Ryan O'Hearn was saved, but they called him out on the field, and then they reviewed it, and they said he was out. But it looked like his foot touched before the ball got in the glove. And who knows what happens at that point. O'Hearn would be on, and maybe the Pirates have a chance to win it in New York, but they get a day off tomorrow. I guess if you're taking out of 6 games, you go 3-3 on the road in Cleveland and New York. I guess that, I wouldn't say it's a win, but it's better than going 2-4, that's for sure. Right now, the Pirates were in 3rd place in the wild card standings. Right now, they're bumped back to 4th, tied with St. Louis, a half game back. Arizona won, so Arizona's a half game up. But it looks like those 3 teams are going to battle it out here. There's still 60 more games left, so anything can happen. I feel like San Diego's still in the mix. Washington's still in the mix. Arizona definitely. And then you have Chicago and Philadelphia at the top 2 in the wild card race. I think if you're looking at the Pirates' postseason chances, it's got to go through the wild card, not the division. Milwaukee's just too good right now. But, you got 7 teams basically fighting it out for 3 spots. Pirates, I think, can get there. They have the bats to do it. And now you have to have more confidence in what these starting pitchers are doing, especially the back end. I know we are all worried about Mitch Keller, Chris, and I don't know. Are you optimistic? How you doing? Are you optimistic by what?
I'm optimistic that Mitch Keller showed some bite, some zip on his off-speed pitches, some confidence to challenge hitters, and was rewarded for it. I'm optimistic that Bubba Chandler was also really good, probably one of the best, if not the best start of his career, Rich. I'm about as optimistic in Don Kelly's ability to manage the bullpen and the bullpen's ability to hold leads or keep scoreless or tie games tied as I am in these Green Tree Road crews to get done whatever they're getting done outside of or a mile away from our building here. I'm my usual 10 minutes early, and I'm popping up there, and I am sitting at a standstill. Rich, I got to explore residential side streets of Green Tree that I never knew existed to try to get here even 1 minute late. So
I wasn't going to say anything, Chris. I was talking until you were ready, and you were ready.
No, I'm always on time, and I was sitting there, and I texted Steve Benko, our producer, of course, and I said, hey, man, let them know, I'm all over the place. I don't know what's going on here. I was as confused as Don Kelly is when it comes time to decide whether or not he should keep his starting pitcher in the game. Rich, I got to get on my soapbox here for a minute. I didn't hear Don Kelly after the game. I don't know if he intimated something to the effect that he did after Mitch Keller's start, where he kind of implied, hey, the guy struggled really badly, and so we wanted to make sure we took him out early and kind of got him a feel-good start, 5 scoreless innings. Bubba Chandler, I would have rather seen him, if they were going to lose that game 2-0, and they were going to see it dissolve for them in the 7th inning like it did, I would have rather Bubba Chandler having pitched 6 1/3 really good innings to that point and with a pitch count that would have allowed him to go 7 full. I would have rather seen him get touched up by Bellinger. I would have rather seen him give up the go-ahead double. I would have rather seen him let them tack on an insurance run. Eisert's terrible. I mean, his pitches have nothing on them. He is the definition of a left-handed junk baller, and I really don't see there being any justification, lefty on lefty or not. Leave the guy in that was making Yankees hitters look silly all night. I know Bellinger had a double off of Chandler, but I don't trust Eisert's ability to get anybody out. I don't know why anybody would. I don't know why Don Kelly would. That's one where you got to stop playing the lefty on lefty matchups and just say, who is the better pitcher in this situation? And it's Bubba Chandler by a landslide.
Well, that's our Penn West University question. I just scanned that QR code in the right-hand corner of your screen. Did Don Kelly make the right call pulling Bubba Chandler tonight? I mean, I'm with you. They should have left him in there. He was only at 84 pitches. And, you know, maybe he gets to 100 and then you pull him after 7 innings. You need these starting pitchers to go 7 innings. That's been a major problem. You want to shorten this bullpen. It's a bad bullpen. You don't want to see a lot of those guys out there for a long period of time. And, you know, once again, you bring Eisert in and then all of a sudden the Pirates are staring at a deficit. I was kind of worried in what was it, in extra innings with Gregory Soto there for a second with Jazz Chisholm. And so what he did yesterday, but I don't get it. I want to get a real answer as to why they took Bubba Chandler out. I know you might get some spin or rhetoric from Don Kelly, but leave him in there. Stop playing these analytics. It's not working. Just go with a gut feeling.
I want to know who makes the call ultimately. We know with Keller, he's a stretched out enough, long tenured enough pitcher that they're not on any innings count with him. I would have a hard time, but maybe I wouldn't have a hard time believing that Bubba Chandler, 6 1/3, he's right around 85 pitches. Maybe they're trying to manage the workload there. I wouldn't be stunned if Ben Cherington was calling some of these shots from above. Maybe we'll get a hint as to that this Sunday when he has his radio show. But if it's Don Kelly making this move independent of the GM and just of his own volition, it's inexcusable. I know there are also stories of Ben Cherington led teams, or Ben, you know, when he's been the general manager elsewhere before even Pittsburgh, there being sort of complaints from fans about starters getting pulled too early in bullpen usage. So maybe this is something that follows him and it's not coincidental, but I want to stress, if it's Don Kelly unilaterally making this call, it's a terrible one. It's a terrible one regardless of whether Cherington's involved, but at least like you would give Kelly some exoneration there. It'd be exculpatory to him if the general manager's kind of telling him, hey, tonight I want Bubba Chandler throwing no more than 85 pitches, so Kelly throws his hands up and says, all right, I got to go to a lefty.
But he got one out. Stretch it out. I mean, can't we have like maybe a kind of a gap of hey,
It should be a soft cap. There should not be like, well, he's about to hit, you know, and I'm just hypothesizing here, Rich, that this was some sort of thing that they had in place. If they did have like a 85 pitch count for tonight's game in place, man, stretch it out a little bit. Try to get 7 innings. Let him go 90, 92 pitches. I thought it was very predictable that when he left the game, even though Eisert was inheriting a clean situation, already 1 out, nobody on base, it felt foreboding. He couldn't throw a strike to Bellinger. His pitches just have nothing on them. Like I said like 2 minutes ago, he is the definition of a junk balling lefty, and you're doing that against a lineup that still has some formidable hitters. I thought it was a terrible decision, left a bad taste in my mouth. I think it did for all Pirates fans.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. 412-575-2600 is the number. We got to take a break. Back in a couple minutes with your phone calls. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity Tweet of the Night, and this is from Sportsnet Pittsburgh. 6 1/3, 2 hits, 0 earned, 1 walk, and 5 Ks. That's Bubba Chandler, what he did tonight, and they took him out after 1 out in the 7th inning. I would have let him go for 2 or 3 more batters to see what happens. Let these starting pitchers go through 7. They pulled him with 84 pitches. I think he could have stretched it out to 95 if they were worried about a pitch count, what we were just talking about. I didn't like it at all, but I guess the good thing is you're coming back home. You got 3 against the Cubs and 3 against the Diamondbacks, teams that you're chasing for the wild card. So maybe you make up some ground. Those games are way more important, in my opinion. I know you want to win every game, but these are teams that you are directly fighting with.
Well, I mean, if you go back to the Braves series before the Milwaukee series, before the break, you could even look at this now that the Diamondbacks are right in the mix and say they had an 18-game stretch lined up against basically playoff or playoff-adjacent teams. So far, they're still 7-5, despite my and a lot of other people's frustrations with how a couple of these games have gone, specifically game 2 in Cleveland and then this game here tonight. You have a chance to maybe go 4-2, and suddenly you've gone 11-7 in those 18 games, and that's an awfully successful run. Even 10-8, I think, is still fine. So there's some bright spots. I want to say quickly, Rich, I'm sure we got a lot of people want to call in. Couple quick things to watch. I mean, Chandler and Keller being as good as they were, hugely encouraging. Just quietly, Brandon Lau since June 1st hasn't gotten a ton of pub until recently. His OPS is well under 700. It's like 675. It's worse than Ozuna's, and it's worse than Henry Davis's by a lot in both cases in that span. He's got to snap out of it. And then Ryan O'Hearn and Brian Reynolds, much smaller sample, but both of those guys struggled the last couple of games. And if you wanted to blame somebody other than Don Kelly for this most recent loss, you could point to those two in the middle of the lineup, providing you really with nothing. Yeah, today the offense struggled a little bit. So I'd also point to that first game against New York. I think they could have won that game if it wasn't for Nick Gonzalez. Braxton Ashcraft wasn't great, but Nick Gonzalez in that first inning, they get out of that first inning. It would have been a clean first inning, but instead it was a 4-run first inning, and the Yankees had the lead there. So, all right, out to the phone lines. We got Jay out in Las Vegas. How you doing, Jay?
Hey, Jay, is that Chris who was talking? He's hitting everything on the nail on the head. But another thing, why aren't they intentionally walking batters like, today? What was this guy's name? He hit the 30th home run of the season for the Yankees. Ben Rice.
Yeah.
Why did they walk him? Barry Bonds used to get walked 105 times a year.
Yeah, but Ben Rice isn't Barry Bonds. But hold on, Ben Rice isn't Barry Bonds, and are you going to intentionally walk him to bring the go-ahead run to the plate there? I mean, my major issue there is that he fell behind.
He fell behind on the
My major issue, though, is Henry Davis. No, my major issue with that whole inning, Jay, is that Henry Davis, like, it's his job to be good at challenging pitches. There's a ball that clips a healthy chunk of the strike zone. He doesn't challenge it. It would have been strike 3. And then even if the inning plays out where Ben Rice sends a ball into low Earth orbit like he did, it's a 3-2 game and not a 3-3 game. So I don't think any manager is intentionally, like, outside of a Barry Bonds type hitter, you're not going to see guys intentionally walk somebody to bring the go-ahead run to the plate all that often unless it's an incredibly weak hitter.
Yeah, game 1, you saw what Henry Davis did. He challenged clearly a ball, and then he didn't challenge, which would have been a strike. So, yeah, you're right about that. He's been bad with challenges, for sure. Let's go to Lance and Ross Traver. How you doing, Lance?
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Chris, for telling the truth about what our rookie manager did by taking Bubba Chandler out of the game. And I saw the post-game interview. Bubba was a gentleman.
Yeah.
I know he was upset about being taken out, but he's a true gentleman. I wish him luck in the future. And thank you again for telling the truth about the situation.
Yeah, look, Lance, I appreciate the call. And I don't know how much it is Don Kelly's fault. I mean, hopefully we're going to find it out at some point soon here. But this could be coming from Ben Cherington, like we talked about, Chris. So I'm not going to point the finger at him right now.
Well, Rich, I'm just going to do this. This is just me. This is my gut instinct. I have not tried to, plumb the depths of Pirate sources or people who are closer to the team at the bare minimum than I am and getting an answer with this. I just think this one reeked of a Don Kelly, I'm making a baseball decision situation. Because here's the calculus I could see him doing. A little bit of it is, hey, Bubba Chandler's had a phenomenal start. He's important to us in the long term. I want to build off that. I want him to leave the game feeling good about himself no matter what. Okay, fine. Vaguely defensible if you have Tony Watson from 8 years ago coming into games or whatever. And then I think he probably also supported that decision with, well, Bellinger had a double off of him earlier. It's 2 left-handers in a row coming up. He's going 3rd time through the order. These are all little boxes you could make in the list of, hey, this is a reason to take him out. This is a reason to take him out. He put in a reliever who stinks. They put in the left-handed Dennis Santana to try to finish off the inning. Like, what are we doing here? Use common sense.
Let's go out to John in Dormont. How you doing, John?
Hey, Rich, guys, I agree with everything you're saying about the pitching staff and keeping Chandler in. And what irks me is to constantly watch a ball game and see the playing of Ozuna. When he does hit the ball, a routine ball down to second, he barely hustles to get down to first base. And then moving on, when he does get on to first base, what I feel is an oxymoron is he puts on sliding gloves. He's never going to steal. Come on, give me a break, guys.
Ozuna, that's the big question mark of the season. I mean, they don't sign him. They don't give him $12 million. Maybe you add 2 arms of the bullpen. You know, look, I guess if you're looking at the decision was between McCutchen and Ozuna, maybe, I mean, did they...
McCutchen's playing for Gwinnett.
Yeah,
McCutchen's
they made the right decision.
Baseball.
They made the right decision in that aspect. But $12 million is a
make
lot
a good one,
to
though.
give a guy that stinks.
The question was, is he hurt last year and he was going to get better this year, or was he hurt last year and that was a sign that he was getting close to washed up? And I think we're getting our answer. He says it's because he can't get enough games in a row to actually get himself going. Well, if you're that bad, you're not going to get chances to get yourself going. I have no problem with the sliding gloves, by the way. Everybody should wear them because they extend your hand. You could wear one that's like 18 inches long, and theoretically, until baseball cracked down, you'd be able to steal bases with it. The one other thing about Ozuna is, I know he jogged down there for the most part on that routine bouncer to second tonight. The real shame of it is he actually goes hard on almost every other ball. He's just the slowest man alive in Major League Baseball. So you could be forgiven for thinking he's not hustling. Greg Brown on the broadcast, I don't blame him. He grounds into that double play, and ball comes off bat, and before it even gets to the fielder, Brownie's going, oh no, because he knows. He knows that Ozuna runs like he's underwater.
All right, we got to take a break. Back to wrap things up. Coming up next. Stay right there. All right, welcome back. We only have about 45 seconds left. Chris, Marcell Ozuna and his .205 batting average, could you even try to trade him? I know you'd have to take on some of the salary, I guess, not to even get anything for him. I don't even know what you can do with this guy.
I mean, you probably have to staple like a medium to low-end prospect and still eat a little bit of the money just to get somebody to take some of the other money off your hands. I mean, the bottom line is it was a failure of a signing. Ben Cherington, for all the flack he's taken about the bullpen, and for Ozuna, otherwise has done a lot of really good things to build this team, but his biggest swing this offseason, much like many of Ozuna's actual swings, came up extremely empty.
A whiff. Hey, thanks a lot, Chris. I'm glad you made it here tonight. Hopefully you'll be in tomorrow, and we'll see you then. We'll see you guys on KDKA News right now.